Hello, my name's Tom Carhill. It's Thursday, the 28th of August 2014. On the 25th of October of 2013, I travelled out to Malaysia to work for BBAS, that's Balfour Beatty and Saldo Systems joint venture, which, as the name probably would indicate, was run between Balfour Beatty and Saldo Systems. From what I could see, there was nobody from Saldo Systems there, so for all intents and purposes, this was a Balfour Beatty job. They even had Balfour Beatty UK smiling black man pictures everywhere, going on about safety and ethics and all that. The smiling black man ones that you get around every UK contractor's office, where they're normally completely bigoted towards blacks. That's why they feel the need to have a black man. They still actually got smiling black men on their website, but that's just a sign of a highly corrupt, racially discriminatory company in my experience, just like Lango Walk and stuff. But anyway, I digress. I'm just going to quickly crack straight on and read out my report that I sent to Andrew McNaughton, who was the CEO at the time. He's been sacked recently, but in the news it sometimes says he resigned, but he got a big payout. You can't resign and get a payout, so that's nonsense. And another guy called Mike Fleming, who is a human resources person, but both of them were working for the PLC, which is the overarching company which runs all the other Balfour Beatty firms. And this is with regard to the 2010 Bribery Act in England, because that's got oversight over corruption on foreign jobs. And the reason I basically had to leave that job was because they were trying to get me to put through illegal payments. They were trying to get me to make variations and things that it was clear they were using me like a piece of toilet paper. They were going to get me in to do things and then say, oh, he's left, he did all the bad stuff, while they quite clearly fudged all of the competitive tendering type exercises. It's very clear. And these weren't sophisticated criminals, these were dunce criminals, so you can't go doing that in a country where you're going to get 25 years prison sentence for corruption, So anyway, I'll crack on and read it. I've already done this once, but I did the uploading of it, and it was just very, very loud. I was staying around someone's house, and they just kept shouting for no reason. There's people who shout for no reason in foreign countries, so that's what they were doing. But this was submitted on the 17th of February 2014, and I'll say again, it went to Mike.Fleming, only one M in Fleming, at balfourbeatty.com, that's 2 T's in BT, and Andrew.McNaughton at balfourbeatty.com. The respective phone numbers are 0207 963 4217 and 0207 216 6895. They're United Kingdom numbers, so that'd be +44 at the start and drop the 0. This was a 12-page report, and every page of the report had a header on it. The report, and I'll read that header, so you've got to remember this on every page. Draft report on criminal behaviour and other seriously compromising misconduct on BBAS JV's Penang to Badang Besar double track project. Circulation beyond the 2 named individuals may constitute the criminal offence of tipping off. That's a criminal offence in England, by the way. So I put a tipping off notice on the top of every single one of these pages. It's the header. And I'll also add, this is very important, I made it very easy for them to investigate it on the basis of competency grounds, so they could go down there without tipping them off, investigate it without tipping anyone off. And just bear this in mind, because if you see how they dealt with this report, you'll realise what complete dunces get to be the top of blue chip companies in England. It's a construction related company anyway. They're not clever criminals. They're just openly bent, and they compromise themselves every single time they open their mouths. Dear Mike, because I sent this to Mike first, but this was Andrew McNaughton did get this. His secretary gets his emails, and she said pass it on. He will get it. Give it to me. That counts as getting to him. So, and it's sent to his email. But he's left, of course, now he's been sacked, so he didn't do anything with it, by the way. Anyway, so this is back in February. Dear Mike, regarding formal notification, Balfour Beatty PLC, BBPLC, has been seriously compromised, civilly, reputationally, and criminally by its own expat staff on at least one of the current ongoing phases of the Penang to Badang Besar double track project. And that's called the project from now on. Part of the Kuala Lumpur to Bangkok double track project scheme. Further to our conversation of the 13th of February 2014, this is the note that you requested in support of my spoken explanation that, notwithstanding other practices which are seriously damaging to your BB PLC brand, there are serious criminal financial irregularities in operation on the project. Brief note on my expertise and experience. I am a first-hand witness to the facts which I report. I am a qualified quantity surveyor of over 10 years' experience, having a BSc QS degree, like a Bachelor of Science in Quantity Surveying degree. I was a MRICS card holder, that's member of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, so it means professionally qualified. I just don't pay the fees anymore. I was a MRICS card holder but ceased paying the fees when the president of the organisation was caught doing tax fraud, and they covered it up, not even insisting that he stepped down. I have the Chartered Institute of Arbitration qualification. More specific to this case, I am via various turns of fate an expert in fraud, and have substantial experience bringing actions in both civil and criminal capacities. There are currently 3 criminal cases which are ongoing, 2 in the UK and 1 in Australia, both worth tens of millions of pounds, which would not be happening if it were not for my working tirelessly, embarrassing the corrupt authorities to act. I am happy to elaborate upon request. I am, as these idiot expat employees of one of your subsidiaries, BBAS, are not only acting... I am writing, as these idiot expat employees of one of your subsidiaries, BBAS, are not only acting criminally, but they are doing it in a very indiscreet manner. Then, they're treating those not in their clique badly, such as not paying them, as is what happened with me, but there are other disgruntled employees and agents who mean that this is something of a powder keg, which will jeopardise your ability to attain future phases of a very large rail upgrade project. This is not intended to be a comprehensive report. I am sure to state where, I suspect, and why, what I know, and what I can prove, here and now, and with access to the existent or provably absent due to having been deliberately destroyed by BBAS on-site or systems data. Of course, circumstantial evidence often brings peculiarities to light, and often the lack of something that would normally happen or be in place is where deeper truths can often be found. Whistleblowing versus excellent opportunity to exploit. During our conversation, Mike mentioned, I'm sort of speaking because I'm speaking to the two of them, so during our conversation, Mike mentioned me having whistleblown on site in Malaysia, thus having been told to leave and then not paid and not having had anything in writing as a result. In case this was not totally put straight over the phone, whilst it is certainly true that queries that I've made in private to Graham Donald regarding irregularities certainly caused this to happen, I never sought to blow any whistle. That's page 2, by the way, I'm going on to now. And inquiring as to the protocols to adhere to the law, this was not the same thing. Whistleblowing is a dangerous, gainless idiot's pursuit which destroys employment prospects. Likewise, I am not whistleblowing here. I am letting you know what the situation is in Malaysia, that you might have some time to imagine a solution whereby you transparently cut out the cancer and remedy the situation, whilst maintaining a semblance of control, and minimise damage to the project, BBPLC and BBAS's reputation. This house cleaning exercise, if managed correctly, can be used to promote BBPLC's reputation. Anti-corruption is the issue in Thailand, especially the south of Thailand, where the next phase of the project is due to happen. And it is no small bit of work. Anti-tipping off notice. This notification is made in accordance with my legal obligations under UK and Malay law. Whilst I appreciate that it is logistically difficult to accommodate, I hasten to warn you of the challenges associated with the UK's criminal offence of tipping off, which have primacy over any company policy or interests of your group. I urge you to familiarise yourselves with this factor when conducting your inquiries. I am aware that there is one lawyer working at least in part for Balfour Beatty and Saldo Systems, JVSDN space BHD in parentheses BBAS, who's based in Kuala Lumpur, who's a Balfour Beatty employee. But I'm fairly certain that discussing this with him would be considered a criminal offence. His name's Julian, second name unknown. Personal information. I consider the offending individuals, which I don't pretend to have a complete list of, who are on the project, are a rogue criminal gang. As such, whilst I don't mind giving you both my contact details, I will not be happy if any of them are passed on to them. Mobile phones and IP addresses can be tracked very easily by criminals, and I'm in a dangerous country which is in the middle of a revolution. Thailand, by the way, that was, yeah. Which means there is an element of danger to me in alerting you to my or our concerns. Further, I would like to remind you that Malaysia has laws similar to our Data Protection Act, where all personal data can be retrieved and it is illegal to use it improperly. On the other hand, it is obtainable, so destroying it is illegal here, and I am entitled to have it. So if it's destroyed, then this will be discoverable upon my request. I urge you to carefully restrict access or transmission of this and any other report, recommending that you seek my written permission before any access is granted, which does include bent lawyers who think they can ignore the law. Not unforeseen ramifications. Suspect expat staff who I was most closely associated with were and are Graham Donald, commercial manager, my boss, Adam Stewart, Graham's boss, maybe other duties on project or on other projects, and Conrad Fawcett, boss of project, Adam Stewart's boss. Definitely Graham, I'm certain Adam, and slightly less certain of Conrad, are incumbent